I mean, obviously, I'm biased because I marched there, but I'll be the first to say, like, I'll still criticize when criticism is warranted, but it's just cool to see what they've been doing and innovating over the past, like, 5, 6, 7, 8 years.
Yeah, and it's a perfect marriage, and I think going into that, you know, you got two entities of Roger and Tom, and Roger's warm up routine and kind of what he's created with that,
Yep.
and at first from the outside, I was like, what is that? I want to kind of learn more about it, and I think, and I'm speaking for myself, my observation, it reminds me of kind of what Murray Gussick did in those early 2000s Vanguard lines, like oh 02, oh 03, oh 04, where like talking to those guys that marched like oh 04 Vanguard, oh 03 Vanguard, which are some of my favorite lines, they'll talk about like once we got to the warm-up book, the show was easy because there was so many challenges inside, like all the flam vocabulary with Flamus, with cheesy poofs, with those long roll exercises. So the book felt easy in their hands. And you mentioned this earlier, like the golden age of drum corps or drum lines. And like, I think the vocabulary has changed so much. In my mind, there's no way you could recreate what Murray did. But I think Roger's done that to an extent.
Yeah.
By making this crazy hard warm-up packet. And I feel like the members get through that warm-up routine with Ram 95, with
some of that stuff is nuts.
Yeah, I don't know what they call it, but the whole Susie, you knew Susie,
wild.
They play that, and then the new etude we did this past year, Savate.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think the members are like, they get through that, and it's stupid hard. And not that Tom's music is easy by any means, because it's not. It's incredibly complex. But I think they get to that, and their hands are so well prepared, they get to the book, and the book feels very approachable to them. And I think that's kind of what's been created by both Roger and Tom, and that marriage has been great. And I think we've had, we saw some success. The guys I thought were fantastic this past year, in a shortened season. And I thought 19, I thought they played really well. Super happy with them. So,
yeah.
I'm a little bummed that we didn't get to experience that 2020 all vet Snareline.
Dude.
Oh, man. That was the first thing Evan and I texted each other when the season got called off. I was like, dude, they had an all-vet snare line. I wanted it.
The Instagram photos, and they all have I'm like, oh, shit.
This is going to be awesome.
It was, dude, I remember we were talking about texting members, bring your jerseys, to camp. But we got to get a picture of this. And it was just, and there were reps. I remember, I can't remember the name of the place we do camps at. It's a small Ohio school. I'm sure it's probably the same school you guys did.
It's what's it called? I can see it. I can see the building in my head right now.
It's old.
Yes, they've been there forever. They have been there forever. Oh.
And we did a rep of show music, and I remember it was like a 5-lit roll into a triplet roll at 192 or something burning. And it popped on Saturday night at camp.
Nice.
And I remember Roger let out an audible whew, and it was just we were just cranking it. We were working it was gonna be silly, and there's just so much talent. And I think people ask how do you build a DCI line? I think the first thing is retention. If you can get members to come back year after year, that's Cavaliers. In 2015 we were 10th in drums. It was a rough year for that drum corps. And then somehow, and I'll never forget this, I'm not to go on a tangent on this, but I remember the center snare and the center quad came and found me and Eric Ridenour, who was the co-captain in 2015. Froman taught Cavaliers forever. And they were like, what are we doing next year? We got to figure out, we got to get guys back, how we make it next year better. And we had a core group of guys that came back from 15 to 16 to 17. And we saw that drumline jump from 10th. I think we were fourth in finals, I think, in 16, and then third in finals in 17. It's retention. And the fact that with Bluecoats, it was the same thing. We had this core group of guys that were coming back from 19, which was a great year, into 20, and it was just it just didn't happen. But 21, man, those guys were fantastic. I can't talk enough good things about them. What they did, the work ethic. Zach Wilson's an all-star. That kid's crazy.
Has some of the best snare drum hands I've ever seen in my life. Emmanuel De Leon's up there, a couple other people. That kid's probably one of the best of this whole generation of drum corps. It's just insane to watch him play.
And what gets me about him, and I'll brag on that guy for a second, yes, I 100% agree. And then maybe the most humble and teachable student I've ever come across.
Nice.
You know, and that kid has the full right to be a prick. You know what I mean? Like, and I should say that word, but like because he's so good. But like when you give him feedback, it's like, oh, I'll work on that. Like just so humble, and it's just so that combination of things is so rare.
Well,
and I think
that's why he's what he is.
That right there is like the soundbite of the podcast. That dude has every right to be a prick, and he just isn't. Oh man, well.